Hello and welcome back to Capcom Classics Collection Week. In this installment, I'm taking a look at the amazing game Street Fighter II. Street Fighter II is to Capcom what, Mario is to Nintendo. This is one of the biggest franchises that Capcom has ever had, along with Mega Man and a few of their other series. But it's Street Fighter, right? This is the game that really put Capcom on the map for many people. The very first Street Fighter game was a sort of mediocre fighting game because fighting games weren't really well established in 1987 and, nobody really cared. But Street Fighter II made it huge. It made a ginormous impact, such that in this collection alone, there's Street Fighter II, Street Fighter II Champion Edition, Street Fighter II Hyper Fighting, and there's Super Street Fighter II, and there's so many versions of Street Fighter II. But this, we're going to be taking a look at the original version, Street Fighter II, The World Warrior. So here we go. This is, of course, the 1998 re-release version, again, because the Capcom Classics Collection version seems to love those versions. Maybe they're bug fix versions. Probably. Now, to be completely upfront, I am not a very good Street Fighter II player. This is not a game that it's a game I played a lot as a kid, but it's not a game that I really mastered. So I'm just going to play as Ryu here. Street Fighter II was originally released in 1991 in arcades, and then was ported to, consoles. This is the Super Nintendo and the Genesis, all over the place. This thing was, had to be on everyone's, must-own list. It was rather unusual for the time in that it had 6 buttons for actions. Most arcade games got away with having 2, or sometimes even just 1. So the way Street Fighter works is you have 3 different punches and 3 different kicks. You have a weak, medium, and strong punch, and you have a weak, medium, and strong kick. The balance between the weak attacks and the strong attacks is that the weak attacks would be weak, but they'd be very quick jabs, where you'd be able to punch and then do something else. Whereas the fierce attacks would be, you'd punch, but then you'd leave yourself wide open if it was blocked or, or whatever. It was also different from the first Street Fighter game in that you had projectile attacks that you could fling at your opponent. And they were very simple to perform. They weren't like special moves that you had to do some crazy thing to do. For instance, the Hadouken, all you do is quarter circle and then any punch. The computer kind of counters what you're doing, so you don't want to spam doing the same thing too often, or else they'll start to react to you. It's doing the same thing with Guile here. You win.
Round one.
In the very first Street Fighter 2, the health bars are very small, so battles often will last about 10 seconds or less, you know, for really good players. Also, throws are way overpowered in this game. Street Fighter 2 is responsible for the boom in fighting games, and why SNK was able to rise to such stardom in the 90s with their Neo Geo hardware and, you know, having so many fighting games. I've never been very good at this part. You gotta, like, practice your moves by destroying this guy's car. Unsuccessful. But if you are successful, you know, the guy will come out and it's like, oh my god! Which was censored for the Super Nintendo version too. Oh my car! I've always liked Ken's theme here. Great music. Even though that Ken is basically just Ryu again, but wearing red. The characters have exactly the same moveset. Hey, but hey, he has a red gi, so that means he's American. And blonde hair. Uh-oh. No. Let's change character. Let's try, I don't know, Chun-Li. Uh-oh. Come on. Oh, boo. Well, that's typical of me playing Street Fighter 2. I don't really know what I'm trying to accomplish here, but... Anyway, that'll about do it for today's video. I want to just show you guys Street Fighter 2, the original version. Stay tuned fairly soon, because I'll be showing another video in the Capcom Classics Collection series. And I'm going to be, of course, showing the other two versions of Street Fighter 2 included in this collection. So until then, guys, see ya next time.